We are conditioned to expect our fantasy heroes to look the part. There is a standard archetype, the heir with the royal bloodline, or the warrior with the magic sword, born with a physical strength that signals their future. In the kingdom of Daiho, that physical birthright is the primary law. It is a society where magical ability is tied to your lineage, dictating exactly where you sit in a rigid political and social hierarchy. This disrupts that entire order. The Alchemy of Souls is a forbidden spell, severing a human soul from its physical vessel, bypassing natural death. Watch as that energy is forced into a different vessel, a legendary assassin's soul trapped inside a blind peasant. Her internal identity remains that of a master killer, but her external reality is a frame that cannot support her skills. She has lost every bit of her original physical agency. This scenario forces us to look at a gap in logic. If someone's power and destiny were tied to their original body, we have to see if any of that future survives when the physical body is abandoned. To properly understand how a soul is moved, we first have to look at how mages and Daiho harness power. They draw from the natural, ambient energy flowing through the atmosphere and the landscape around them. The Alchemy of Souls requires a mage to take that ambient energy and use it to forcefully pull a human soul out of its native host. This visualization shows the transfer mechanism. The extracted soul energy is forced into a new, foreign physical vessel through an aggressive collision of these two streams. Because the insertion is artificial, it triggers a biological and magical dissonance. The new host body and the invading soul begin to clash immediately. By weaponizing this magic, the human body is treated as a disposable container. It is no longer the definitive marker of who a person is, but a shell that can be hijacked and replaced. But there is a price for treating the body like a container. An inevitable entropy begins the moment the soul is shifted, as the physical vessel starts to reject the foreign energy. This rejection causes a state known as running wild. The shifted soul's energy becomes erratic and begins to rapidly deplete, burning through the host's resources. To stop this depletion, the soul triggers a parasitic survival mechanism. The shifted individual must consume the life energy of other living humans to stay alive. If the soul cannot feed on others, the physical body loses all its moisture. It grays and cracks, eventually hardening into solid stone. This creates a life of constant high stakes. These shifted characters must hide their mismatched identities from society, while fighting a daily, desperate battle against this impending petrification. The magic system punishes those who try to cheat death. By escaping their original fate, they are forced into a predatory existence just to survive the consequences of their own choice. This brings us back to our assassin. In a world of entropy and stone, her story should have ended the moment she lost her original body. But the soul has its own gravity. Even in a powerless vessel, her willpower begins to push back against the boundaries of her new body. Eventually, that internal energy reshapes the surroundings, proving the soul's drive overcomes physical limitations. In Daiho, true destiny follows the agency of the soul. It is not something solely granted by biological inheritance. Beyond its use as a weapon, this forbidden magic serves as a narrative mirror. It shows how a person's will can persist, even when trapped by a failing body and the threat of petrification. Identity behaves like a gravitational force. It is a persistent pull that shapes a person's path, regardless of their external appearance. If you enjoyed this look at the cost of magic and the weight of the soul, consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video. We have more deep dives into the mechanics and philosophy of your favorite fantasy worlds coming up next.